Hello and welcome back to Are You Serious? Well, Chantal is ranting. Everything's bothering her, everything's triggering her. Okay, Uh, she's eating butter chicken today because she had a craving. She says that she's not even really that hungry. Seems like a pretty high calorie dish to choose if you're not really that hungry. But, I'm done commenting on her methods of what she's doing because it's clearly a joke to her. So why would I take it seriously? All right. So let's see what else she has to say.
So that's my ranting for today. I get so annoyed. Oh, one more thing. I'm not the epitome of good Muslim. I'm on my own journey and I keep that personal usually.
Well, here's the thing, Chantal. You don't keep it private. You don't keep it separate from your YouTube life. You coming on screen wearing a hijab and behaving the way that you do, you are putting out an image of the religion, whether you like it or not. A lot of your viewers may not even know a Muslim, so they look to you as an example of a Muslim. So whether you want to be a role model, a shining image of the religion or not, that's how people are viewing you. So, you could try to keep that in mind when you record, when you edit, when you upload, when you go live,
False doctrines or false ideas about Islam. But there's one woman.
False doctrines? What?
I'm on my own journey and I keep that personal usually. I'm not trying to...
Yeah, it's not a personal thing with you, Chantal. Your journey, no, it's not.
Spread false doctrines or false ideas about Islam. But there's one woman.
I don't know who's accusing her of doing that. I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't.
Oh, I have to try so hard not to comment. But sometimes I don't win. It's like marriage is halal or something like that, and it's this Muslim woman.
Chantal, why did you... She put this text here. The channel is Marriage is Halal. She shows it on screen and then writes over it haram. Marriage is haram. Why would you do that, Chantal? I mean, you just said that you've been accused of spreading false doctrine and ideology. I don't know that she has, but why would you correct this in your mind to say marriage is haram? What is wrong with you? Just because you don't like this woman? Okay.
Always her face up close and always like...
If you want to make your man very happy, you must bring him several wives. If you need help with that, please reach out to me. My husband is my king. If my husband tells me to sit down, I sit down. If my husband tells me not to go out, I don't go out.
I will admit that there is expectation on a certain level of women to not be obedient like that, but like have respect, right?
Of course. And I would say that that's in any marriage.
For your husband. And believe me, in Islam, if a man is disrespecting his woman and not taking care of her, she can apply to divorce him. When they get married, he has to give her money. And he has to also take care and provide for her. That's like how it is, okay? And the woman in return has specific expectations, okay, as a wife. Okay.
That's all true.
One of those duties is not to bring your husband other women, okay? She has a t-shirt even for like merch that says bring your husband more women. No. And like trying to encourage to allow him to have more sex with other women, which is zina, which is adultery, which is forbidden in most religions.
I don't know how you can see Zina and say Zena. Zina. Zina. Zina is an Arabic term used for premarital or extramarital relationship, the act of which is a physical relationship. The act of zina is considered as the most heinous crime, and people may be punished harshly for it. I've got to see a source for this. I have to see a source. You can't just put some text up on the screen. If, this is not from the Quran, this is not a hadith. Where is she getting this from? This is where she may, I don't know who's accusing her of like spreading false beliefs or whatever. But I mean, this could contribute to the reason if she's using a source that she hasn't checked out herself, because she hasn't, that she's not familiar enough herself with the Quran, that she knows when she looks at something like, oh yeah, this is correct. She can't just, copy and paste something off a website. The act of zina is considered as the most heinous crime, and people may be punished harshly for it. Quranic verses prohibiting adultery, as said by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are do not go near adultery. What are those verses, Chantal? This is not adequate. This is lazy. This is just lazy. Like, this is a problem. This is a problem. So, and it is haram to cheat on your spouse. 100%. But this is so non-specific. Like, where did she get this from? Used for premarital or extramarital. What on earth is this? Is even worse. The act of zina. Yeah, okay. I found the website that she's using. You're not going to believe this. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you will. It's Chantal, right? Expect anything. All right. Okay. So this is, I believe, where she got it from. Now, this is an Indian website. And this is a law website, like lawyers in India. Okay. Advocate, KHOJ, library, law areas, adultery, divorce, adultery. Is she looking up divorce for adultery? This took a turn. Hindustan, this is in India. I don't know. Chantal, if you hire a lawyer that's licensed in India, it's probably not going to help you out in Kuwait. Just an FYI. There's all these ads up here before we get to law library. She's in the law library. Adultery, divorce, law dictionary. She's looking up divorce. Adultery, Islam. Because you know how she uses subliminals, right? Like she could be talking about this other creator, which we were going to look at. We can still, but I don't think that's even really relevant at this point. But like looking at that creator, you know what I'm saying? Like saying that, oh, this creator says this and that, but like she could actually be hinting about the divorce part. So here's where she copied from. Zina, and I'll just follow it like word for word. She took this from somewhere. Zina is an Arabic term used for premarital or extramarital relationship. The act of zina is considered as the most heinous crime, and people may be punished harshly for it. Quranic verses prohibiting adultery, as said by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are, do not go near adultery. And that's where she cut it off. Look at this. It's even got the colon and the dash. Chantal, if you're going to quote, anything from religious, you gotta use the whole thing, not just something that works for you. Surely it is a surely it is a shameful deed and evil, opening roads to other evils. Say, verily, my Lord has prohibited the shameful deeds, be it open or secret, sins and trespasses against the truth and reason. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Under Islamic laws in an Islamic state, it is not lawful to shed the blood of a Muslim except for one of the three sins: a married person committing fornication and unjust retribution for premeditated murder. What? Oh, like eye for an eye. And for sin of treason involving a person renouncing Islam and thus leaving the community to join the enemy camp in order to wage war against the faithful. Is that why you didn't quote the whole thing? Adultery in Islam is one of the most atrocious and dreadful of all sins. It's horrendous in the reality that it has been considered equivalent to the Quran. Okay. Where's the divorce part? Well, how would she possibly come up to this website if she wasn't searching for divorce? How it works. Advocate, communication platform, helps consumers find advocates to represent their legal need. Yeah, a lawyer in India is not going to be able to help you, Chantal. Advocate area. Oh, okay. So it's just a website that lawyers join. Okay. But how she stumbled upon this is strange. She was looking up, I believe, this is where she took it from, this page, Adultery, Islam. Divorce, adultery. Title, Adultery, Divorce. Adultery, Islam. Adultery, divorce. Well, as she says, yeah, you can. You absolutely can divorce. Okay, let's hear what the rest of that is. Interesting. I was not expecting to go there at all. Okay.
Duties is not to bring your husband other women, okay? She has a t-shirt even for like merch that says bring your husband more women. No. And like trying to encourage to allow him to have more sex with other women, which is zina, which is adultery, which is forbidden in most religions, I'm pretty sure. So she just gets on my nerves, like.
But why would that trigger her? If I heard a creator saying bring women to your husband and encouraging him to have a physical relationship with them, I wouldn't be triggered by that. I'd laugh. I would laugh. It sounds silly. Why is she so annoyed? Maybe because, there's some zina going on in this marriage. I don't know. I mean, really, if you heard that, would you be like, oh my God, that's terrible? Like it's obviously a sore spot here, I think.
She was just like, she just says really dumb things, like, I don't know.
Maybe Salah showed her that creator and was like, see, she says you should be bringing me women. That's why she's all sensitive about it and she's all annoyed.
I don't know if she's being ironic, but usually Muslims don't joke about make jokes about Islam, you know?
That's true. That's true. Because, you know, joking can be taken in a lot of different ways. So yeah, we don't make jokes about our religion. No. There can be humor and satire about like certain like behaviors, maybe. Like there's a creator, it's a couple, and like they make little shorts about just like little things. Like, oh, you'll know these if you're Muslim, and it's like a woman not fasting until next week. Like, and the reason for that is because she would have her period. So it's like, oh yeah, ha, 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 that kind of thing, but like not actual joking about like bringing women to your husband that he's not married to and encouraging him. Yeah, that would not be something to joke about at all. Because what if someone took you seriously? Like, yeah, I've never heard that either. Anyone joking.
I'm that way. So she just annoys me. And of course in the comments they're even more annoying. All the thirsty men are like, oh yeah, we need more women like you. Really. Yeah, well, buddy, we need less men like you. I'm not even like criticizing the multiple wives thing because I understand it, but it's not done like that. Like how people think.
It sounds like she may actually have an understanding for real, because we know how jealous Chantal is, and she's saying she gets it, you know? And yeah, it's not just to have multiple women to have relations with. Definitely not. There are many reasons for it. I think I probably discussed it in a previous video. I'm sure I have. But there are parameters around that. You know, if a man's first wife isn't able to bear a child and he wants to have a child to carry on the name, he is allowed to marry another woman in addition to the first one religiously. Obviously, this isn't legal in a lot of areas, so that he can have a child. But the thing is, the parameters around it is that he must be able to financially provide for each wife evenly. It has to be absolutely even in every way. Time, attention, he's got to split himself. So if he and his first wife have a house, like a one-family house, you know, with certain, you know, two-story house, let's say, and he wants to marry a second wife, well, she doesn't have to move in. That wouldn't really be kosher for a lot of people. But he would have to provide the same accommodations. He would have to buy a second house, a second two-story house, and pay all the bills there. All the bills, utilities, mortgage, everything, for both houses, and divide his time and attention equally. And that's just to have two. For whatever reason, the second wife is there. A lot of the times it is financial. If a woman's husband passes away, now I'm talking about like in countries like in the Middle East, where things are very patriarchal. So it can be difficult to get things done without a man. It's, you know, hey, I don't like it. Hey, when I have something wrong with my car, I go talk to the mechanic. I want to be brought out to the garage and shown what's wrong with my car. I'm not just like, you know, like, so that's the kind of woman that I am. But I realize and accept that it's in the Middle East, it's different. So if a woman's husband passes away, let's say, and she's like older, so like there may not be like a lot of eligible men around close to her age that want to get married, let's say. And let's say she has no male relatives that are still alive. A man could choose to take her as a second wife to financially be responsible for her, and they wouldn't even necessarily consummate the marriage, but it would be like him taking the responsibility of her financially. That is a very valid reason. So she gets it. I think she gets it. And I've never met a woman to this day that would be okay with, yeah, sure. Yeah. Get a second wife. Sure. Never. Never. And most men nowadays can't do it. They cannot, like it's hard enough to keep one household afloat, And so most men can't do it. They know that they can't fulfill their end of the bargain, so they're not able to. But I've never met a woman that was like, oh yeah, that'd be okay. So it doesn't really happen much nowadays.
Thanks for listening to me rant. Everyone has things that annoy them. I have a lot. Why is this undercap always moves? I hate it when I eat. Maybe because when you chew, your temples move.
Well, most women don't wear their undercap, hiding their eyebrows or pulling their eyebrows up. So it is bound to move if you're wearing it like that. So, okay. So let's go check out that channel that she was just talking about. Okay. This is the channel. It's called Marriage is Halal. Now, I have watched a couple of her. Looks like she is on TikTok, of course. That's where Chantal would probably watch her. She is like she says that she's some kind of marriage counselor, that she provides marriage counseling. So keep that in mind watching this.
So you guys have been asking me, where do you live? I live in San Diego, California, but I love to travel, so you'll see me in different places. That's why when I was advertising and looking for my husband's third wife, I said she needs to love to travel, because we are a family that travels. Alhamdulillah, I enjoy it. Another thing I feel like a lot of people sleep on is the continent of Africa. All of the different countries in Africa. I've had the best food here, like hands down the best food. They spice their food so good, from vegetables to meat to the rice. So if you guys are looking to visit somewhere, do your research. East, West Africa are my favorite spots, but Central, South, and North Africa too are great. Just go to these places. I would say Kenya, Tanzania, Senegal, Ghana, Gambia, Nigeria, Gabon, Uganda, Rwanda. Give me one more. What's one more? Mozambique. 10. Those 10 countries.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No woman like that.
No, that's not true. If a man does it right, a woman will be supportive of it. But if a man lies to his wife and brings another wife and forces her on her, then she won't like that. And a lot of women hear these horror stories of like, he went and married another one and now he neglected her. And so that's why they're like, I don't want this. But if a man does it right from the beginning, like before I met my husband, he told me I want to have more than one wife. Before we even got engaged. So he put it in my court, to decide, yes, I want it, no, I don't. And I really thought about it, the advantage, the disadvantage, what I want out of life. And alhamdulillah, I was like, okay, this isn't something that bothers me. So I tell men, if you're not married, you have to be honest from the beginning. Now I have a platform. There's so many men that email me and they say, I want a second wife, but I didn't tell my first wife. And it's so hard at this point because you've already committed to this woman and you've promised her a certain life. So she doesn't expect another woman. So it's very hard to bring in another woman. But if from the beginning you're not married, you're like, now you're courting women, you're looking to get engaged, or you're engaged, you should be honest, like, I want more than one wife. So she can choose. If she wants to be a part of that, she stays. If she doesn't, then she can be like, this isn't for me. And that way you don't have headaches. But the reason women don't like it is because a lot of men lie and they bring a wife and they, even the second wife is a secret. And they'll have her a secret and they don't tell the first wife, and it causes drama. It brings the shaitan. There's lying. There's so much pain. So it ruins it for everyone, So I just say be honest and you'll get what you're looking for.
No, what I want to tell you is, no woman like that. You don't know the beginning about Abraham's two wives. the second wife.
Yeah.
The first one doesn't like it in the end.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for women to like that.
It's jealousy, you know, and that's natural. I tell women
No
it's okay to
woman's
feel
like
jealous.
that. I mean it, and it's true.
It's true. Like, you don't love it, but what's the
But
alternative?
it makes women also love his husband, because now before she do, I will do. I'll do the best.
Exactly.
Always.
They
I will do the
compete.
best so she can win. It's good to have 2 wives. Or 3 or 4. Then you become king. You become a president, because everyone will say, I will do the best. Just to have my husband.
And
So
then
it's
when
good.
she doesn't have her husband, she can focus on her. So he's with the other woman. She's like, okay, she has
The
time
man
for
will not be
herself.
worried. He will never be worried, because you said, oh, if she doesn't do this, this one will do. If that one doesn't do, that one will do. So they all-
Exactly.
Okay. Looks like they had a long conversation. Part 1, part 2, part 7. Okay. Men versus women.
Men usually want to have sex every day. And when I say usually, it's like 99% of the time. Men want to have sex every single day. Whereas women are happy and content to have sex 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe 5 times a week. And they're satisfied. But a man has a higher sexual drive. That's why I'm a big proponent of polygyny. Bring your man more women. Number 1, it'll make both of you happier. Because in either situation, let's say you're a woman and you're like, okay, my man wants to.
Oh my God. No wonder she's so triggered. Wow. Now, this woman is clearly generalizing. It's not always going to be the man that has a higher sex drive. Could he say bring her more men? Of course not. A sexual drive is I don't believe is a reason to have a whole other responsibility of a whole other woman to be married to.
To have more sex, I'm gonna have sex with him every single time he wants to have sex. The truth is, at some point, you're gonna start to resent him because you can't keep up with his libido. And him, if he's like, okay, let me drop down my libido, let me like lower my manliness for this lady so that I could keep her happy. At the end of the day, he's taken away from his masculinity and he's not even being the full man he can be. So you don't want to do that to your man. You want to make sure that he's the best version of himself he can be. So find him another woman so that he can have sex with her on the days where you can't. And you'll be happier, you'll be healthier,
Oh, yeah.
he'll be happier, he'll be healthier, and that other lady will be happier and healthier. Because chances are she's exactly like you.
Yikes. Okay. Hey, I mean, I'm just laughing at her, you know? I'm not triggered by this because that's not my situation. Maintain your beauty.
Just a tip, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you got dry lips, and that's okay, that's normal, it happens in this world. Get some lip gloss, get some moisturizer. Oh, use a sugar scrub. Great. Just a little sugar. You don't even need anything else. And just like scrub your lips and it'll get rid of all the dryness. And that's just a little tip for you ladies. Like, you want to have kissable lips. You want your husband to be like, look at her. When she's talking, he's like, let me kiss her and interrupt her. You know, you want all those things you see in the movies. Like this.
When I'm talking, I want my husband to listen to me, not interrupt me by kissing me.
Woman is wanted, like passion, like her man is constantly letting her know he wants her. And then look in the mirror and you're there, you haven't brushed your hair today. Did you even brush your teeth? I don't know. Are you even like presentable? Are you realistically? And don't use the excuse, I'm tired, I work all day. Everybody works, everybody has kids. It's in your head. You decide, I'm going to put effort into how I look, or I'm going to complain and say all these other things, all these other excuses. Stop making up excuses. I gave birth and literally 2 days later, I was down, my whole stomach was gone. Okay, so all those ladies that are like, I'm still carrying pregnancy weight. It's about how healthy you eat, how much you exercise. What did you look like before you got pregnant? But that's even a side conversation.
Okay, now we know she's insane. Okay? If you have a flat stomach 2 days after giving birth, it's because you're genetically blessed. It has nothing to do with your diet and how thin you were beforehand. There are plenty of women who don't bounce back. It could take several months, up to a year. So, I mean, really, now we know she's absolutely insane. So she's talking to any woman, she's off. Listen to me. I sound like Chantal now. I just don't like the misinformation. This is what's triggering me, not the flat stomach thing. The misinformation that she's putting out. And she's selling marriage counseling. Contact me if you want, help, dealing, trying to find your man a second and third wife and all this stuff, right? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be calling. But, for her to say, take pride in your appearance, that's one thing. Yes, brush your teeth, brush your hair. Yes, change your clothes when you get home to something nice. You don't have to put on your stained t-shirt. Put on something nice, for your husband. That's all legitimate. That's all fine. But for her to say 2 days after she gave birth, she had her flat stomach back, a uterus doesn't necessarily contract back that quickly. I mean, I don't know how old she was when she gave birth. She looks fairly young. I don't know. That can have something to do with it. But, shaming a woman as if she's not doing enough to be attractive for her husband because her body didn't bounce back within 2 days after delivering a baby, that's how we know she's insane. And from this point, she's not credible to me. When people spout nonsense like that, I just write them off. I'm like, I don't care what you say next. It does not matter. Because it's not even about her telling her story, like, oh, hey, my stomach bounced back. Good, great. But she's like implying that if yours didn't, that's your fault. Well, what did your body look like beforehand? That's not what it's about. Yeah.
And I had my makeup on. My face was shining. I had everything. I showered. I made sure my man held my baby, or my sisters, or my friends. You find people and you take advantage of the time to take care of yourself. Because even after you have a kid, even after your job, even after whatever, even after whatever you go through at the end of the day, you still have a husband. And if you're not taking care of yourself, I will tell you 1,000,000%, there's 1,000,000 girls out there and they're all taking care of themselves. And realistically, a lot of women are looking for men that are married. So even if you don't want to accept him having a second wife, there'll be a woman out there who's more than happy to marry a man and be his second wife. So maintain your look, so when he does bring the second wife, she knows, okay, he really loves his first wife. I'm gonna be respectful, and you guys will have a happy, healthy marriage, all of you.
Okay, yeah, all right. So I've seen enough. I have seen enough. Okay, so all right. I would never subscribe to this channel. She's clearly nuts. I don't know. And like I said, it is a man's right to have up to 4 wives, but he has to meet all of those conditions. And I don't know any woman who's like 100% down for it. And, they would have to really have a come to Jesus moment, come to God moment. Like, okay. And you'd have to really pray on it if that was really a thing. And, if it was being seriously proposed to you that this was going to happen, that would be very individual. Yeah. And I've never met a woman who was like, oh yeah, sure. He could. Yeah, he can. No problem. I've never. So yeah. But as aside from this person, Chantal, I don't know. Like, is she seemed, I don't know if she's, I don't know. Maybe Salah, said something about like his needs. She's talking about zina, which is fornication, outside the marriage. And maybe he said, like, look, I'm a man. I'm a young man. I have, I have a drive. And, she's trying to say, well, I'm going to divorce you because of zina. That would be valid. However, if Salah chooses to marry this other woman, this is 100% speculation. I'm just like running with it. Okay. I'm not saying any of this is happening. It's just a little weird that this comes up like this. But, you know, he could just say, I'm going to marry her. And literally, Chantal can't say anything about it. She can't. She could divorce him, but she can't forbid him from getting a second wife. So he could, you know, be committing zina, adultery on the side, which would be a sin, or he could marry that woman and be completely within the eyes of God and be fine. So I don't know. That took a huge turn from where I thought it was going, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Let me know. And if you do like my content, please consider subscribing. I'm going to keep uploading. I'm going to keep uploading. And like the video if you liked it. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.